So the other day I was with a friend who was telling me about another friend who is constantly complaining about doing things for others and never having time for herself. My friend explained that, this friend is a great person and she loves helping people out, but she's just feeling bogged down by all the stuff that she now has to do. She has children, she has a husband, she has a mother that's sick in the hospital, and while she's trying to do her best, she's just starting to really feel the weight of it. So my friend asked me, like, what would be your advice? What would you say to her? And I looked at my friend and I said, I would say to her what I say to almost anybody else that would be in this situation. When was the last time you did something for yourself? Ask that question and then wait for them to answer. Count Mississippis if you possibly can. Go 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi. If it takes more than 2 Mississippis, there's most likely a problem. My point is that we all tend to bend over backwards to help others, whether it's family, friends, or strangers. And while that's great, the problem is that we often neglect to do anything for ourselves. But I don't mean going out and getting pizza for yourself, but neglecting to take any pizza home for your children. That's kind of selfish. But you get what I'm saying. Like, the problem is that so many times we just neglect to do anything for ourselves. When I was involved in homeless outreach, so I do a lot of homeless outreach. I still do it. But in the very beginning, when I first started doing it, I thought I was going to save the world. But by doing that, what I did was I didn't just go in and start handing out socks and food to people. I also went in and took their problems and put it on my shoulders. And we can't do that. And I was told not to do that by many friends, but it did. I eventually had a breakdown. I had to stop. I had to completely stop doing all of my outreach for about a month, just to deal with it and get through that part. By doing that, by not taking care of myself and not taking all those problems as my own, but just doing the best I could, and that was it. Just not doing that, I created problems for them as well, because there were certain people that kind of depended on me. And by me allowing myself to be overloaded, I took myself off the streets for a month, and it affected others. So that's kind of one of the things that's big to me when it comes to something like this when my friend asked. Like, it's very big that, each one of us realizes that not only can it hurt us mentally and physically if we don't take time for ourselves, but that can also play out negatively for others in our life. Ultimately, you can offer advice and opinions, but people have to solve their own problems. So just like I had to solve my own problem about the breakdown, the folks on the street, even though I love helping them, they have to work towards helping themselves. They have to understand that. It's essential to recognize that we can't pour from an empty cup. I mean, we can be there to support and guide others, but truthfully, we all know we can't solve their problems for them. I mean, if you're someone who constantly allows yourself to be taken advantage of or bends over backwards for others, it's crucial to ask yourself, when was the last time I did something for myself? And I'm guilty of this too. I kind of live by something that I read in the 4 Agreements. And in the 4 Agreements, one of the agreements is you do the best you can and nothing more. And that's all I'm trying to do with this channel. That's all I'm trying to do in my life. And that's all I try to do when I help others. I only try to give my best. I can't go beyond that, because if I go beyond that, I'm weighing myself down. You can only do your best. I've said it in the last few videos that, sitting alone with your thoughts, some people agree with me. Some people say, oh, there's no self. But what I'm trying to say to you is you have to take time for yourself. You have to realize, you have to ask that question. When was the last time I did something for myself? You have to ask yourself, am I giving too much here and not giving enough here to myself? And if that's true, if you see that, then you have to change that. I mean, it could be as simple as going out and getting your nails done, going for a walk on the beach, or just enjoying a cup of coffee by yourself. That's all it is. I mean, it doesn't have to be by yourself, but do it for yourself. Don't allow others to bring your good time down. Even when we're out trying to help others and we're having a good time doing it, there's always that 1 or 2 people that want to make it horrible for everybody. We all know that. And if you're in that type of situation, and even though you're having fun with the other people and you think you're doing something for yourself as well as them, if there are people like that, you need to drop them and you need to walk away from that moment and go experience something by yourself. And we all know this when we get around others, especially when we're on this path, when we're on a walk trying to bring up our vibration or try to find our higher self or try to reach enlightenment. The problem is that the people around us usually aren't trying to do the same thing. So they're either going to attack us or try to bring us down, try to talk us out of it, be negative about it. And we have to realize that those are the times when we must ask ourselves, when was the last time I did something for myself, by myself? Because I've said it before, and I'll keep saying it another billion times, the old cliche is true. You cannot love anyone else until you love yourself. Until you can plan this time aside for yourself and realize that you're overstretching your bounds and doing so much for others but not doing anything for yourself, you're going to be in a rut. You're always going to be in a rut. You can try to watch every wisdom video, every new age video there is in the world, but until you realize that you're not dealing with the issues all around you, you're just pushing them to the side and you're just focusing on enlightenment and all that. You have to deal with all those things. When I stopped drinking, I point blank went sober. And I thought, okay, hey, now I'm sober. It's been a month. I'm sober. I haven't drank. But the problem is my problems were all still there. So I still had to figure it all out. So what I'm getting at is that the more we do for others, we're taking away from ourselves. And all those problems in our own self and our own personality, our own things that we've been ignoring because we've been dealing with others' problems are going to just keep adding up and adding up and adding up. You have to take a moment and say, when was the last time I did something for myself? And I'm not saying you have to go out and psychoanalyze your life while you're by yourself, because that's probably not going to be fun either. I'm saying go out, get some ice cream, sit at a picnic table and say, when was the last time I went and did this? Or when was the last time I read a book? When was the last time I went to the zoo by myself and looked at all the animals and laughed at how funny some of them look? When was the last time you did that? Not go get ice cream and sit there and worry about all of your problems. And by the time you look down at your ice cream, the cherry is floating on top of a melted bowl of milk. It's not that you can't care for others, but you have to do it for yourself. I told my friend this, but I had to explain it to her. And even she said, you're right. I haven't done anything for myself in a long time. I've done things for others. She was literally doing what her friend was doing. By listening to her friend, she was doing what her friend was doing by listening to others. Do you see what I'm saying? It's turtles all the way down. You have to refresh and you have to recharge. I know that a lot of us have our little 30-second of Zen during the day or maybe during the week. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is doing something for yourself. Think back to when you were a child, something that you enjoyed doing. Go do that. Did you like to seesaw? Go ride a seesaw. You're going to have to find somebody, and it's going to probably look kind of weird if you just walk up on some little kid and say, hey, can I ride the seesaw with you? So maybe not the seesaw, but go on a swing. Go do something that you enjoyed doing, and don't let anybody else tell you can't do it because you're too old or anything like that. Just go do it. Have fun. If you're not hurting yourself or hurting anybody else, don't worry about it. Just do it. Have that time for yourself. In Christianity, Jesus says, pick up your cross and follow me. I see it as carrying my own weight and taking care of myself. And maybe that's selfish within itself, but I don't see it that way. Because if I don't carry my own weight, there's no way in heck I'm going to be able to carry others' weights. Can't carry theirs unless I figure out my own first. Look out for your neighbor, care for others, but ask yourself, when was the last time I did something nice for myself? I mean, one of the biggest problems I think in our society is that we all don't take time for ourselves. We think we do, but often, more times than not, we're doing it for others. Take time to reflect on your own needs and remember, it is okay to prioritize yourself. It's not selfish, it's love. I love you all. Walk in light.
Until next time, my friends, I ask all people everywhere to plant seeds of love, peace, joy, and oneness.